The Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters just launched, or at least the first 3 in the series of 6 anyway. I'm not sure when 4, 5, and 6 are going to be available, but the first 3 are available now. And it kind of had fans a little mixed. Some people were excited, some people not so much. But a common complaint that I've seen even prior to the game coming out, was a lot of people didn't like the font that was being used with this game for the English version. Now, the font is kind of small, doesn't really fit the retro aesthetic with the Pixel Remaster style, and for some people it may be kind of hard to read, or other people it just bothers them because it looks out of place. I was aware of this ahead of time, but I was still looking forward to playing these games, and I just started playing Final Fantasy 1 through Steam, and I love the graphics, I love the music, it looks and sounds beautiful, but yeah, that font is a little annoying, I guess you would say. Now, I'm sure there's going to be mods that become available, if not already, that you can get that kind of retro aesthetic, but right now there is a workaround to fix the font that's actually built in to the files that we have here. So I wanted to go through that today, as it's a pretty simple solution. I haven't tested it yet, but I want to go ahead and do that now, kind of have a comparison, see what the new fixed font looks like compared to the little tiny baby font. So on Steam, the game I'm going to focus on is the one that I just started playing, which is going to be Final Fantasy 1. We're going to right click, go to properties, and then from properties, we're going to go to local files, and then browse, and then in browse, we're going to go to, so you see here, we're in our actual directory for Final Fantasy 1. I'm going to go to Final Fantasy data, and then from there, streaming assets. Now, in here, there's going to be a couple real quick things we have to do. These are all the different fonts for the different languages. Now, we're going to be making a backup of a few of these. So the English one, which is font_en bundle and manifest, we're going to want to make a copy of those. You could just cut and paste them somewhere, but I went ahead and copied them. And now I'm going to go to my desktop. I have a little folder here that I'm going to put those in just as a backup. And now let's get back to that streaming assets. We're going to want to find the Japanese ones, the _JA bundle and manifest. Now, what we're doing here is we're actually going to rename these Japanese ones, but we want to have a backup just in case. So we'll go ahead and copy those over to my backup folder as a just in case measure, and then go back here. So now, let's go ahead and make sure, I guess I did not delete the English ones. I want to delete those. Those need to be gone, the English bundle and English manifest. Let me get rid of those. So all we have in here is the Japanese ones. So what we're going to do here is just rename both of these, because the Japanese language font here does have English in it that will work with what we want to do, and it's going to look nicer. So there we go. EN, manifest, and bundle. So now, in order for the game to actually continue running, we do need those Japanese ones back in here. So we're going to go back to the backups, get the Japanese ones that are properly named, go back to the streaming assets, and paste them back in here. So we have all the language options. If you don't have the Japanese ones in here, the game won't load. So we have the renamed Japanese ones up here. So essentially the process is that you're going to back up the English versions, just in case, and then you're going to back up the Japanese ones. You need to keep those because it's necessary to run, right? The English ones you're going to delete, and then you're going to rename a set of the Japanese ones to _en, and then put them back in here, and make sure you have the original Japanese ones in here as well. So whatever works easiest for you to do, boom, make it happen. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and boot up the game and see if the font changed. I hope it did. Go ahead and click play. Okay, so here we go. Let me load my game. Let's get into a battle. And there we go. It looks a lot nicer. I mean, it was more obvious getting into a battle because I was used to all those being like really small. Nice, it worked. So, I mean, still not the best looking font in the freaking world, but you know what? It looks nicer than that little tiny ass font. So this is going to be one solution that you can use if you want to, you know, have bigger font that looks a little nicer. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get to the first little area here. The music in this game is freaking, like, it sounds great. If you get the bundle on Steam, the games come with like a soundtrack as a bonus, but kind of sucks because you just get 3 tracks per game. I thought it was going to be more than that, but they're like time-lapse remixes. I think they're freaking awesome. Like, you have to check those out. They kind of start with the original version of the song and then like just kind of transition into the new version. They sound really amazing. I wish those were available as like a full thing for the complete soundtrack. And you get some wallpapers as well, you know, like whatever, right? All right, let's get into some dialogue with this fool. Oh, yes, Garland, there we go. A lot more readable. Who there? Who dat? The king's lapdog. So this is looking a lot better in my opinion. Like, this is a set of games that I want to play on the Steam Deck when that eventually comes out. And having the larger font, I think, is going to be definitely something that will make it easier, more playable on the Steam Deck. All right, let's whoop up on his ass real quick. He should be dead in just a second. It's just to set the game up. Like, I mean, none of these battles are really that difficult. Final Fantasy 1 is definitely a game that you kind of need to grind a bit, especially like the beginning of the game. Before you even come here, you kind of want to grind a little bit to, you know, be able to upgrade your equipment and get some magic spells. But you could get annihilated walking here to this shrine by just like having the wrong random encounter if you haven't leveled up at all. You just kind of need to level up like a couple levels. That's about it. Nice longsword. We saved her. This brings me back, guys. Like, when I first booted this up last night, this just like it brought a tear to my eyes. This wasn't like Final Fantasy 1 wasn't the first role-playing game I ever played. That honor goes to Dragon Warrior on the NES, if I remember correctly. I played this later on, like actually well beyond when it first came out. But after playing this game, I mean, I really loved it. I mean, it kind of helped grow my love for the Final Fantasy series. It's definitely a fun game. Kind of aged quite a bit, but you know, it's still a cool one to revisit. But there you guys go. Really appreciate you hanging out with me. Pretty simple process here to get this font looking a little better. Let me know what you think. And with that said, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. And boom. Bye.